Today I really want to focus on and talk about and get you guys aware of what osteopathy is. So in order to start understanding osteopathy, we have to start by looking back into the history and who founded it. And the founder of osteopathy, his name is A.T. Still. He was born in the early 1800s and lived up until 1917. His dad was a bone setter. He eventually got into medicine, and he was a Civil War surgeon. He gave up on medicine because during the time that he was a doctor, he had 3 sons and all of them died of meningitis. And so he was very discouraged, and so he thought that, he gave up on the practice of medicine altogether. And for a long time, his patients wanted him to get back to doing medicine and to help them out, but he refused to go back to practice the way that traditional allopathic medicine was being practiced in those days. So he really did a lot of soul searching, and he did a lot of studying of anatomy to try to figure out why the human body or why we get afflictions of diseases. And so from studying anatomy and looking at multiple cadavers and of different ages, he later found that there was a strong correlation between the age of death and having structural lesions. And so he came up with some of the philosophies then. The first philosophy of osteopathy that he came up with is that the body has the ability to heal itself. Everything that the body requires to heal is already built in within our system. And he used nature and he used God as a guide to say, when we're born, all our functioning mechanisms is there. Second philosophy that he found was that all inter-body parts are related. Your feet can affect your hips can affect your back, your feet can affect the base of your head, and vice versa. The third aspect of the philosophy is that structure follows function. So when your body is adapted to a certain type of lifestyle or certain type of activity, your structures are going to change based on the functions of your life. So when the structure changes in according to function, then we have to start understanding and start realizing what that entails and what that does to our physical body and how our body is compensating. The fourth principle is that logical treatment depends on what we find with the structures and how they're interrelated to each other and how the structure and the function is working with each other. So with that in mind, he started developing treatment techniques, hands-on techniques that would help address these issues. So let's go back a little bit and talk about structure and function. He found that structural issues were inhibiting the circulation, they were inhibiting and blocking the nervous system, or they may be blocking lymphatics, and then disease processes started. So he also tailored his responses and the use of manipulation to free up these lesions and to restore circulation, the nervous system, and the lymphatics. So once he developed all these ideas, he went back and started practicing on his patients. And what he noticed was that his patients were actually getting better and without the use of medications. So that's how really osteopathy kind of started with this philosophy and its mindset. But he still put a strong emphasis on knowing the medicines, knowing how to do surgery. And, but it's more of we use these other methods when it's absolutely necessary. Manipulation and techniques and hands-on manipulation is not everything. So we still have to rely on other resources when the manipulation isn't a key aspect into treating. So that's a quick, brief kind of explanation of what osteopathy is, how osteopathy started. And to everybody, osteopathy is a little bit different in terms of practice and mind. And certainly with A.T. Still, that was his sacred science. And that was his love and that was his passion. And a lot of the work that he does is driven by the love that he has for the individual and the love for the health and the ability for the body to heal itself. To A.T. Still and to me, osteopathy is a philosophy, a way of approach to treat the body, to engage the health. And there's a couple of quotes that I really like that A.T. Still has said and mentioned in some of his books. One of the quotes is, "To find health should be the objective of every doctor. Anyone can find disease." The other quote that I really like of what A.T. Still said is that osteopathy is based on the perfection of nature's work. When all the parts are aligned, then we have health. When they are not, the effect is disease. So that really is the fundamentals and the foundations of osteopathy. To me, osteopathy is a philosophy and osteopathy is a way of life.